Lantern series, which I was excited for when it was initially announced, but as it's gearing up, getting more and more excited. So we'll get into the reasons for that. Superman Legacy, so the future with some future seasons and oh no, sorry. Superman Legacy, some developments and it's my adventures with Superman. There we go. Some news about some future seasons and whatnot. Since the first 2 episodes, I think, dropped today. Actually, I'm recording Sunday, the 26th of May. So yeah, we'll get into that in the weekly watch list. And then we got a bunch of MCU/Sony rumors, ranging from interesting to highly worrisome. So I think you can guess which side of those the worrisome part is on. And then on the gaming side, we got Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on the horizon. So I will get into it. I was a big COD guy, but fell off a little bit. So we'll get into that. And there's a lot of comic stuff this week, so surprisingly, so that's always great. So some cool things in the near future coming, and then the main topic for this week is Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. So yeah, we'll be getting into that, dropping, giving our thoughts, reviews, and whatnot. Sorry. Fucking cords everywhere, Jesus. All right, let's see. There will be time codes below, so feel free to jump around to whatever part you want to. I was gonna talk about that random thought that I had. I guess, hold on. I just saw a picture on Twitter. It was like a Spider-Man and Friends, like that old animated show. But what was funny to me is like, why the fuck is Spider-Man rolling with Iceman? I feel like that's so random. Do they have like a great relationship in the comics that I don't know about? Like, Johnny Storm and in Spider-Man, I literally forgot Spider-Man's name. I was talking about him, but is they have like a low-key friendship that I don't know about? And then it was like what, Firestar or something? It's just so random. Iceman and Spider-Man, I don't know. That was super random. But anyways, last week, what did I miss? And so I was talking about X-Men 97, and I didn't really talk about the score. And yeah, the classic X-Men 97 theme is great and shit. But they did little stuff with it that I didn't mention. No spoilers, by the way. They just remixed it in ways that I felt like it was really fun, and I didn't really highlight that. But that was another thing that I really enjoyed about X-Men 97. And then I also briefly mentioned, like, with X-Men 97's animation versus like Invincible and What If. And here's the thing. I wasn't really trying to like compare art styles because that's like totally different, but just like the fluidity of it all, the choreography of it all, like the animation choreography of the fights in X-Men 97 is fucking stellar, bro. And I want to see some shit like that in Invincible. And for like me, Invincible, what like was really holding me down is not the animation, because the animation it's serviceable, and I don't mean to like shit on anyone's their whole sit or whatever, but it's serviceable. Like, it's nothing crazy. I feel like the when we go like, oh shit, that was like some good animations, like when some gore shit happens, and like the fights aren't particularly interesting. And then when it comes to What If, I am kind of talking about the art style, because I just feel like, I don't know, man, it's just super bland compared to, like, it's just not expressive. It just feels so cookie cutter, and like I honestly really do hate like shitting on art in that way, because bro, I can't do that shit. No way in hell I could do any level of that shit. But it's just like, I don't know. And the thing with What If, the fights in there, they're pretty, I like the choreography in the fights. I think one of my favorites, or probably might be the best, honestly. This is from memory, so I could just be yapping, but it was in the first season, Captain Marvel versus Thor, Party Boy Thor. I feel like that was a really good, well choreographed fight. But I don't know, just X-Men 97, bro. It's just, that's a different beast, bro. It just has a great art style. The fucking choreography's great. Just the way, bro. I gotta get on that. I want to make a video on the like animation choreography and shit. Anyways, go listen to last week's episode. And then I didn't really talk about any numbers, though, for X-Men 97, because, I mean, it's streaming. It's hard to gauge numbers and come across, like, because I don't think streaming servers officially put out their numbers like that. So it's like, even, insiders and stuff, it's kind of hard for them to get a hold of those numbers as well, too. So, but apparently It gathered 3.5 million views globally in the first 5 days on Disney Plus, making it the most viewed full-length animation series finale since season 1 of What If. And then also I think like I was reading it also, was, and this is a no-brainer, but it was also putting more eyes on, the original series, which I do want to get back and finish in its entirety, but I don't know, bro. And it's not even okay. What I'm gonna say kind of sounds like I'm shitting on the show, but I really am not. But compared to the new one, it's just kind of like night and day. I will say like one thing I do not even like more, but it's just something great about that aesthetic of the old animation aesthetic. Like it's just so good. But just like that's what I'm saying. Like it's like the choreography of it, of like the fights, all the action bits. And okay, let me finish this thought. All the action bits in the original series, bro, it was just kind of like all throwy and stuff, and it utilized their powers, but it wasn't in. And again, I didn't finish the series, and so I could be yapping about this, but it just didn't use their powers in like super creative ways. Like it was just super cookie cutter, and that's like of its time. So it's like I'm not really holding it back for stuff like that. But it's just like when you get to the new shit, it's just like, damn, bro, we're seeing Cyclops jump out or fucking get the Blackbird destroyed and him fucking fall hundreds of feet from the sky and using his optic concussion blast to fucking create a wave of, and just slow as the fall and shit. It's like you're getting shit like that. He's using his optic blast to zoom around the battlefield and reposition himself to get a better, like combat opportunity or whatever. It's just you're getting shit like that. You're getting using, I don't know what this tangent is on, but basically I want to go back and finish the original series, but it's just kind of hard seeing just that greatness. And I feel like the original series, what was holding me over while I was watching it in preparation, was trying to finish it before the new series, but just didn't ended up doing that. But what was holding me is just like the story and stuff, but just everything else I feel like it's just so night and day. But yeah, let's just get into the news though. Kind of been yapping. Let's just jump into the news. So Damon, this is this I think got like leaked a little, not like leaked on their like profiles for WGA, like their writing credits or something. But this is with the new Green Lantern series for the DCU. So Damon Lindelof, Lost in Watchmen, Chris Mundy, Ozark are writing the Lantern series for DC. So basically, in short, a lot of good names that are attached. So here's some more names. These don't necessarily mean anything to me yet. Just like, from people's reaction, because like I don't know, like these are just getting more into this stuff. Like I'm learning, and I'll get into more bit about this a little bit later when we get to some Marvel news, but learning who's like a good writer and stuff. Because like I feel like there's stages to like being into movies. Like I feel like there's the purely surface level, like you're just going in there to stuff popcorn in your face, kill time and whatever the case, see some moving images on the screen or whatever. And then like there's people who like know actors and stuff like that. Oh yeah, it's like fucking Robert De Niro or fucking Denzel Washington. Oh, it's fucking Hunter fucking, what is his name, Strafe or something, Timothy Chalamet or something like that. Like and then there's like the people who know that stuff, and then plus like, oh shit, it's directors and fucking da-da-da. And then there's the people who fucking know, like it just gets deeper and deeper, and like I'm slowly easing into that. I don't think I was ever like one, that first stage. I think I was always like in that. And this is this breakdown of it is like a super over generalization. It doesn't really mean anything. But like what was I saying? It was like yeah, these don't necessarily mean anything to me like crazy, but like people's reaction, like, oh, these are some good writers and shit. So it's like I take that. And then I watched Ozark, and I really liked Ozark. I didn't finish it though, so maybe that's saying something. But here's some other names that are attached to it. Justin Britt Gibson, Brianna Gibson. Are they married or something? Vanessa Baden Kelly have been attached as writer. Damon Lindelof is also attached. And then also these names, there could be, I don't think they're specifically for writing. But basically, honestly, even if you're like me in this camp and these names don't necessarily mean anything to you as of yet, my biggest takeaway from this is the care that the James Gunn and the DCU seem to be taking with these projects. Like as news comes out about the future DCU projects, there's always it seems to be so far always been like really strong names attached, like people who have strong creative visions, people who have like have a track record of good writing and good stories and whatnot, or track record of good directorial stuff or acting, anything of the nature. It seems like they're getting some well-known names attached, and and that doesn't necessarily mean everything. Everyone, it always takes like one chance and like you're a breakout star. So it's like but basically what I'm saying is it's like they're not just fucking doing what Sony's doing and trying to hire someone where they can push over and where they can mold their original vision into like whatever corporate shit they wanted to do and what makes sense in the corporate eyes, and which is usually not the right thing for the creative aspect of whatever they're making. It seems like they're really putting in their trust in. Again, this could just be me yapping about this shit, but from what I've been seeing, it seems to me they're really putting their trust into their creatives, and which should always be the case, and which is something that I feel like maybe the MCU lost a little bit. I'm not gonna say like completely, because I feel like there is still that for the most part, but it just feels like it with this course correct that they've been talking about. It seems like they're kind of getting back to that, and I don't want to like it because I feel like it's a little bit more nuanced with the MCU, because I feel like there is some of that stuff and there is some sort of the corporate stuff, and this has to look this way and whatnot. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about this. And the Lantern series, I didn't really like even talk about it, but it's dealing with, so it's gonna have two, maybe more, but when it was originally pitched, it's gonna be about Jon Stewart and what is his name? Hal Jordan, is that his name? Yeah. So and then apparently Guy Gardner from who's playing Nathan Fillion is gonna be in there too. So and then this was described as a what was the show? True Detective like type vibes, and so it seems like in the names attached, this is I can really see in this like the vision they're going for. Lost, Watchmen, and then so Damon Lindelof, I think he gets like, I didn't watch it, but I think he gets quite a bit of slack for how Lost ended. But then I think he also did something called like the Holdovers or the Leftovers or something, which people liked a lot. So it's like you're getting something with Ozark. Like I haven't seen True Detective, but I kind of know the vibes, and so I feel like this is very, very of those vibes, and so it's cool. Just like them saying, it's so. The point I'm about to make is like no duh. Like why isn't that the case? But it's cool. When studio heads or whatever they say, oh, this is gonna feel this way, look this way or whatever, and then like the names attached to it reinforces that, and so I don't know where that point's coming from, but it just feels like it's very easy for this stuff to, or very easy for like Marvel or anyone else just say, oh yeah, this is what we're going for, and just kind of not really see that come to fruition. And this could still be the case, but it seems like at least they're taking the right steps to do that. But yeah, so the next little bit of DCU news, which in itself doesn't necessarily, oh my god, but James Gunn's Superman Legacy is already over halfway through shooting. Oh, and then with the Green Lantern stuff, so that stuff was like speculated and was like I think attached to like whatever, like what am I trying to say, like a work profile or whatever. But then James Gunn I think did come out and say, I think yesterday or a couple days ago, that was confirmed with some of those names on the Lantern stuff. But yeah, James Gunn's Superman Legacy is already halfway through shooting, which seems. A lot of people are like baffled by this, like kind of, because there's just like, oh, that seems like super short, which I think in the recent years it does seem like that way, and it seemed like that way to me too. But then I saw a good point. Someone point out was like, we're so used to COVID delays, writing delays, or with the strikes, COVID, and just like a bunch of delays and shit, like just taking a lot of long time in the oven. But all that stuff seems to be cleared up so far. So it's like when something actually, and then James Gunn also has been known to deliver stuff ahead of schedule and under budget. And so Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway I got from this is like, okay, well, it's like halfway through shooting, like I don't necessarily know, what that goes into. Oh, and then also with shooting, apparently like they're shooting in a very very controlled environment. Like there was like this, they built their, I'm trying to like, work through the image in my head, but they built like, this, that their set, but then they tarped it all off. So it's like a big tarp. So there's no outsiders snapping pics or whatever. So I feel like that's really cool, especially in this. And I cover, them sometimes too, but, with leaks and stuff coming out, like I feel like, not getting that type of stuff is definitely beneficial to the magic of it all. And like I said, I don't seek that type of stuff. It just kind of comes on my timeline. I'm like, oh, all right. But yeah, definitely I could be more active about not seeing that stuff. But it's like I care, and I most times I don't care, and it's very rarely that I do care. Um, but yeah, my biggest takeaway though from this is this being almost done filming, and then this is not coming out until 2025, I believe. But basically what I'm saying is that it being done so quickly, it's going to have a lot of time in the post production oven. That to me says like a lot of polish on the CGI and the VFX. And so that is my biggest thing. And what I've been learning about this stuff, and this is, I feel like, is a no-brainer when you apply some common sense to it, but the longer the CGI artists have and animators have to work on, the CGI, the more polished and, clean cut it's gonna look. It's not, if they don't get a lot of time, it's gonna look shoddy. And so yeah, I'm the Superman costume reveal was a minor little setback. Was like, do I like that? But everything else with this series, or this movie, and going in and hearing about, I'm definitely 100% jazzed up. But yeah, hopefully with it being wrapped up, or almost being done wrapped up so soon, we do get some great visual effects. Some Supergirl stuff. So, and Anna B. Shepard is listed as the costume designer for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I think, yeah. And so it says on IMDb, her previous works include Spider-Man Far From Home, Maleficent, Captain America, The First Avenger. Goddamn. I feel like Captain America, The First Avenger, those, his the costume, like the first Captain America costume, not like the one where he is like in the play, but like, his real one. That shit's so gas. I feel like that's the best MCU Captain America costume. That shit's just so filthy. So if we're getting more stuff like that, I'm trying to remember the costume design of Spider-Man Far From Home. I mean, we do get the Night Monkey, which is like, it's all right. I feel like, if story purposes, that's, I feel like, the best is that could have got, I guess. I mean, you only could do so much if you, with, you know what I mean. Hopefully. But then you get the fucking black and red costume, which is probably one of my I feel like I feel like all the live action Spider-Man costumes are pretty fucking good, except the integrated suit in No Way Home. I feel like that's pretty ass. And then when it's flipped inside out, that's also ass. But yeah, it's definitely a solid, a top tier Spider-Man costume. So yeah, her being attached, and then the production, bro. Of course, I feel like that's with every movie, but that's where I feel like Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow needs to shine, bro. It's the production, the set designs, the fucking costumes, the fucking visuals. Like, this is where this movie needs to shine. And it seems like they are getting some good people attached. But yeah, some My Adventures with Superman news. So season 3 and season 4 have been apparently outlined already, and creatively, I don't know what that means, creatively approved, but can't speak if they've been greenlit or renewed yet. So I think the first 2 episodes of My Adventures with Superman dropped today, which I will be getting into more in the weekly watch list. I haven't watched them yet, but be talking about that more later. Yeah, I feel like this is a really good sign. I think season 2 got greenlit fairly, I feel like maybe during season 1. So I mean, I'm really liking this show. So hopefully season 3 and 4 are green lit, and I'm excited to watch these. I think they dropped 2 episodes, so that's cool. Yeah. Not just 1, 2. So yeah, 2 episodes to watch. Super excited for. And then I think so. Jake White is a producer on it. He was asked if Batman will appear in the show, and let's see. Let me go to the thing. And basically, long story short, no. There's been some back and forth because James Gunn and Peter Safran and Warner Bros. Discovery have big plans for these characters on the big screen. DC has been very supportive, and we've sent them all the material we've created and are creating, and we've never received a no on anything we wanted to do. But Batman is already overwhelmed, so let's stay away from him. I honestly do not like this kind of rhetoric at all, because like it's animation. Like, do you really think putting Batman in fucking My Adventures with Superman is gonna dilute the fucking content pool of Batman? Bro, Batman's everywhere already. Like, who gives a shit? And honestly, I mean, and that's just me like speaking on Batman in general. I honestly wouldn't really want to see Batman in My Adventures with Superman. I feel like I feel like that would just take away from it, and it's way too early. Like maybe season 3, 4, but like let's cook with a Superman for a little bit. And has there been other heroes so far? I don't even think so. I think in like the teaser we were seeing some like Themyscirans or something like that. I don't know. Or some, what did it say, Thangars or some, whatever the Hawk people are. I think is what it was. Whatever their race is. But yeah, I don't like this limitation on like animation, the characters they can use. I just feel like it's so stupid. Like in DC, probably Marvel's probably guilty of this as well, but DC was doing this shit with like the Suicide Squad. Like the Suicide Squad was gonna like appear in the Flash show, but they couldn't do it because the Suicide Squad movie, like the first one, which was ass, like was coming out, and so like, you know, it's just so weird. I mean, it's like, bro, who gives a shit? Like, do they really think people are gonna care that much? Like, I don't think so, in my opinion. Especially like when you're talking about movies and TV shows, like who cares? Especially I feel like it's even more so when you're talking about animation. Like, you think people are really gonna be that confused that, oh my fuck, this Batman is not the same Batman that's on the fucking big screen? Like, come on, bro. I don't think people are that stupid. And there's also like some stuff where they had to like low-key fight to get Lex Luthor in the show, like Superman's main villain. Like, why are you putting, and like it ended up working out, but like it was just like it was some weird like pushback on it. It was just like, really? And then also I was gonna save this for the comic section, but there's a My Adventures with Superman tie-in comic that kind of bridges the gap between season 1 and season 2. There's a really good article with I really like the art in it. It really is. They talk about, it's a really good article on Games Radar with the co-creator. This article is by George Marston. Superman is my number one. My Adventures with Superman showrunner opens up about her love of the Man of Steel and writing Superman's new comic. So yeah, I definitely give this a whole article a read. I feel like it's the way she talks about the character and you know, just all the characteristics and the stuff going in. She shows she really has a really big passion. Who's Josie Campbell? She has a really strong connection and love for the character, which is always good to see from creatives working on this type of stuff. But yeah, the comic, the art style is really good. She was saying and you get this in the show as well. It's very manga, anime vibes, and there's some manga vibes to the comic with like, you know, the paneling and artwork and stuff, and I could see that in some of the images. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to read this, and it's like kind of a Christmas type vibe, and I think it has to do with a Mazo. But yeah, I definitely would give that article a read. But that comes out when June 4th, I think it said. Yeah, June 4th. So yeah, I'm gonna check that. That's definitely be on my radar. So this is a rumor. So we got last two things before we get into some MCU rumors and such. DCU Studios. So this is from Daniel Richmond. DC Studios is reportedly close to getting a showrunner for Booster Gold. The titular character has already been cast. Yeah, so okay, I think the biggest thing coming out of all this DC stuff And the recent stuff we've been talking about throughout the weeks and whatnot, and even today, is bro, they're moving and grooving with this stuff. Obviously, this is a rumor, but it seems like it seems one again, take this with a grain of salt, but there wouldn't be a rumor if there wasn't some type of rumblings. Of course, they could be fabricated from thin air, but I feel like these sources and stuff, and like I feel like okay, with rumors, of course, they could be fucking fabricated from thin air, but I feel like they usually stem from some place, whether that's rumblings about this character, maybe in a different project, and maybe it got misconstrued. And this is like a for sure. I'm just saying in general. This is the Booster Gold series. That was part of the DCU Gods and Monsters slate. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I'm just talking about in generalities here, but like it could be from a character might appear in something else, but it's the way they got the information. It seems like they're gonna have their own show and whatever the case. But it seems like they are moving and grooving on this DCU stuff, which I love. And which is like kind of interesting because I feel like there's a lot of pressure on Superman Legacy, and so for instance, it doesn't bomb, but let's say it doesn't do the greatest, let's say like barely breaks even. Is this gonna with all this stuff in development, are they just gonna go forward and fucking Warner Bros is notorious for canceling fucking projects. So damn. I was gonna say does that with this stuff in development I'm sorry, this is a random thought. That's why it's all over the place. But since this stuff is in development and James Gunn's Superman Legacy doesn't do well, are they gonna continue forward with this because it is already in development? Stuff is already so far along. I don't know. Is that kind of his game plan just to get all this shit rolling? And then also, what hand does James Gunn have in all this? How invested is he in these other DCU projects if he's working on Superman Legacy and stuff? And so I just can't stress enough. I don't, I'm not necessarily saying all this will be good, but it's just so interesting to see how this all turns out. But yeah, I think Booster Gold, he runs with Blue Beetle and stuff, right? So is this going to be a Booster Gold closer to the Blue Beetle's age that we got in the movies? Because he's apparently coming over to the DCU as well. Not sure in what capacity, whether he's going to get another solo movie, if he's going to be more of a cameo background character or supporting character. But yeah, I mean, it would be cool to see someone, pair up with Jaime. What the fuck is his name? Jaime. I forgot his last name, but it'd be cool to see someone paired with that, and then or we can get the Ted Kord Blue Beetle is kind of lost in time. Apparently, okay, that's from the old Blue Beetle movie, and maybe they're not gonna bring everything from that movie over, and just maybe the Blue Beetle character just himself, and not the stuff tied to Ted Kord. And no, I'm not saying it won't be tied to Ted Kord, but the shit they specifically set up in the Blue Beetle movie, I don't know if they're following forward with that or what's the case on that. But yeah, I mean, fucking, a lot of people who could be a good Booster Gold. I think I'm so ass at fan castings. That's why I was I really only get a solid idea when I see it on Twitter. But for fan castings, I'm so ass at them. I just default to the people that I know. I mean, I guess that's all fan casts, but it's yeah, I'm just ass at it. But very excited for this. A lot of people were saying Chris Pratt, and that would just be kind of similar to Star-Lord. And Booster Gold, if from my knowledge, he is a hero from he's a nobody from the future who went back in time with the tech of the future and shit to be a hero. And so he's kind of a fraud a little bit starting out, and then maybe he learns what it means to be a hero and shit. But I think that's who's the type of timing Booster Gold's on. I've really only seen him in Batman Brave and the Bold, if I'm remembering correctly. If he was in Young Justice, then I seen him in that, but I don't remember a whole lot. But I just really remember him in Batman Brave and the Bold. So it's a character that I'm definitely open to see more of. And yeah, that kind of teetered out. But yeah, okay, the last little DC thing for now, is new Suicide Squad Isekai Deadshot trailer. So this is a Suicide Squad anime that I was not really jazzed on. The art style looked good, but it was like kind of like the the design for Joker was looking like a little what is the right word for it? E-boy. Like he had a like his iconic like Joker smile was like it was like painted on, and it would just look super, yeah, it looks just super I don't know. I can't find the words to describe it, but it was just not something. It's basically isekai. Is I'm shoddy on the direct or official definition of it, but from my knowledge, it's like someone getting transported into like a fantasy setting. So basically, the Suicide Squad are, they're in regular Gotham and they get transported to like this fantasy medieval time type of deal. That's what I was looking at it, but I was like not too jazzed on it. And again, I said like the art style looked cool, but what made me actually really want to check this out though is this Deadshot trailer. I really like his character design. It really I don't know. I don't know. It just kind of whoa, who the fuck is he fighting? So like he's shooting at some pigmen and shit like that. And I guess what made me like more lukewarm on this title, and maybe I already came around on it and said I was gonna check it out, and I changed my mind just off air again. But what was I saying? Fuck, I don't know what I was saying. He's like shooting at some pigmen, and like he's fighting this nigga that looks like he's off a Demon Slayer. He looks like that one guy, the main demon, the one that looks like Michael Jackson. He's like in this bar and he's literally wearing the same fit. He's wearing this white suit, but he's like these powers. It's like these goop arms, like these black goop arms, and I don't know. It just looks. I'm digging the vibes. I'm digging the vibes. So this is gonna be something I check out. Probably review, to be honest. When did this come out? Let's see real quick. I don't think there's a release date on this yet. Wait, this is made by Wit? That's crazy. What the fuck? Someone posted this in the replies. A Flash anime is high on the list for the Suicide Squad Isekai team at Studio Wit. That would be fucking lit. A Flash anime? Oh man. There's like these anime X-Men shows. I think there's a Blade one, an X-Men one, and a Wolverine one that I'm probably gonna cover on my channel. And I gotta fucking get on that before someone does it already. I mean, it's probably been done, but I mean like recently. What was I saying? Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna be checking that out. Oh yeah, I was gonna look up a release date for that. Sorry. Suicide Squad anime. My fucking ear itches, brother. Anime. Is this called Suicide Squad Isekai? Oh, I guess so. All right. First episode date 2024. It just says July 2024. All right, so that's cool. We got a little over a month for that. Or it doesn't say specifically. Oh wait, Peacemaker's in this? Okay. All right, I'm getting a little bit jazzed for the show. Okay. All right, some Marvel news. So, Michael Leslie will write the upcoming Marvel Studios X-Men film. So they're gearing up to bring the MC. Oh my fuck, bro! Why are deadlines links always broken? 404 page not found. All right, cool. So we're not looking at that. But yeah. So apparently, let's look up his writing credits. So they're gearing up to. So he wrote. What is that movie? What's the recent Hunger Games movie? Ballads of the Songbirds or Snakes and some shit, Vipers and Snakes singing. He wrote that, and I feel like that movie was a little bit long, but I didn't mind that movie at all. I found it pretty decent, but I feel like me saying I didn't mind that movie at all is not a good what's it called? Reinforcement of his writing. Not that my opinion means anything. What is his name? Michael Leslie? British playwright and screenwriter. So apparently he did that, which, I don't think is terrible. I'm going to look up writing credits. So, and then apparently a lot of people were saying, oh, this guy's ass because he did the Assassin's Creed movie, which was ass. But then, so I was like, I heard that and was like, oh, kind of shaking in my boots. But then... apparently he did what is this? Apparently he did the original draft, and so it got rewrote after that. And so when it comes to writers, bro, and directors and honestly anything in the Hollywood machine, bro. It's so, at least for me, bro, it's so hard to tell when something like someone is genuinely ass or if they just got fucked over by the studio. You know? Like this guy's name is attached to Assassin's Creed, but he probably didn't have anything to do with the final product of that. And then, you get stuff with like shit getting changed and not being the directors or writers' original vision, studio changes and whatnot. It's just so hard for me to like. I feel like there's clearly good writers. Boom, okay, that guy's good, but then I feel like it's harder to say strictly, oh, this guy's ass. I mean, there's probably instances where you could really point out and say this guy's ass, but I feel like for with a lot of like these people with a mixed bag, it's kind of hard. But I'm trying to think of like, I feel like okay. I think he's a good pick so far, as in the sense I feel like there was a lot of good like drama and like melodramatic drama in the Hunger Games Ballad of the Singing Snakes or whatever. So I feel like he can bring that to X-Men, and so I feel like he's good in that sense. But this just remains to be seen. But again, my main takeaway, I think that's the main theme of this episode of me not understanding shit. My main takeaway is that they're moving and grooving on the development with X-Men, and I feel like that's good. And so I feel like what is gonna be feel like a clear indicator for me, I guess it depends who it is the director attached. But yeah, we'll see. Like, there's no cast or anything attached to this. We don't even know what the team will look like. There's been rumors of trying to bring some new members in and whatnot that haven't been shown in live action and stuff like that, which I'm all aboard for. Let's see. Okay, so head of Marvel Animation on a potential Spider-Man 97 series. I don't want to close the door on anything, but I think that for now, for the foreseeable future, X-Men 97 will own the 90s. And so I think I've been saying for a few weeks, how the fuck did the old Spider-Man cartoon end, and would there even be a worthwhile like continuation of that? Apparently it ended with Mary Jane being trapped in the fucking multiverse, and then Peter finding out the Mary Jane that he was fucking with was a water clone by Hydro Man or some shit like that. Yeah, so it ended wild. It got canceled, so it wasn't able to wrap that up. But then with the X-Men 97 show, sorry, slight spoilers, he was with Mary Jane again. He was briefly in that, and he was with Mary Jane. And so that was kind of like, a continuation of that show in that sense. So I feel like, I feel like there's more, I guess. So my main problem with, a possible Spider-Man series coming back, the animated or 90s show, was there like worthwhile, did it end in a good spot where a continuation would make sense, and apparently it did. And so I feel like there's still a lot of stories to tell in there. I feel like it's kind of a no-brainer to bring Spider-Man back. At the very least, you don't have to bring like all the animated shows back. I think there was like a Fantastic Four one, some other shit. And so I don't know, bro. Bro, I would actually, not gonna lie, I would actually probably shed a tear if they brought this back. Just like thinking of like the care and the love that went into X-Men 97, like, the revival, and then that type of, care and love attached to a Spider-Man show, animated show that and again, I haven't fucking went and sat and watched episode 1 through, and finished the whole thing like that. But bro, just growing up with this show and, that theme, bro, it's just, honestly, it would be so fucking great. And again, only if they have like, a story to tell and whatnot. And I think I probably said like, oh, whatever, like there's still the 90s show, so just go do it. But it's just like, I don't know. I'm so back and forth with that type of stuff. I'm so like, I'll be getting into this a little bit in a second with some stuff being potentially brought back, but I'm so just like, who cares? It's like, fuck it, let's see what they do with it. But then at the same time, it's just like, fuck, bro. Because at the end of the day, it's just like the original thing that was there, like, that's not gonna change. Like, they're not gonna fucking go back and edit. It's like it's easy to just put the other shit out your mind. And sometimes people do go a little bit too far with that and try to and see the Star Wars sequel trilogy is a good example of that. Just people, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with having your own headcanon. So it's like if someone wants to, in their own fucking head, act like the sequel trilogy doesn't exist, all power to you, buddy. But it's just like once you go too far and trying to like project that onto other people, that's when it starts to be a little weird. And so I don't know where that point came from or where it was going, but let's move on. Marvel is rebranding its shows with Marvel Animation and Marvel Television banners. The goal is to eliminate the pressure fans might feel to have to watch every bit of MCU content. I think we also, okay, I talked about this maybe last week or the week before, and I said that Marvel is rolling out their new banners and quote unquote studios. So, you get the Marvel Animation, which X-Men 97 stuff. You get the Marvel Television banner, which their live action TV shows, and then you get the Marvel, is it just the regular shit just for the movies and stuff? And I was kind of like making it seem like they had specific studios for that, and I still don't know if that is the case, but it seems like that, I don't know, it's kind of weird how they're doing this. I don't know which way this is gonna go. Just like, are they making it so, it's less pressure on like, someone like their head guy like Kevin Feige, so he doesn't have to oversee so many things, or is this the way that they're more talking about it as like, we're gonna get let me go to the article actually, because it's kind of a little confusing, I'm not gonna lie, and unless I'm just a stupid dum-dum. Let's see. The rebrands are meant to help Marvel disabuse audiences from the pervasive impression that its content is one unified narrative experience that must be consumed in its totality. There was a lot of pressure post-Endgame on the public to feel obligated to watch absolutely everything in order to watch anything. And then, I feel like that's the fucking precedent they set up. No. Says Brad Winderbaum, Marvel's head of streaming, television, animation. Part of the rebranding was a signal to the general audience that we're creating a lot of options, and you can follow your taste within this brand. Some will be more comedic, some will be more dramatic, and some will be animated. Some will be live action. Marvel is more than just one thing. It is actually many different genres that just happen to coexist in a single narrative. I like this thought process, but it's just like, and then I think it kind of, there's the thing of they built themselves on connectiveness and, this continuity. So them shying away from it, and I don't even think this necessarily means they're shying away from it. It just kind of, because I think he goes to say like, just with like comics, you can pop in and like, more or less get a good story told to you, and it's in the middle of some crazy shit. And I haven't been reading a lot of comments to say that, but I feel like more so nowadays, like for me personally, like I just kind of pick up what's cool. And I feel like if that's the approach they're going with this, and then yeah, like, oh, okay, this show looks cool. Oh, it has some ties. It's seeming like they're alluding to something else, like some other shit, but like you could still go in and get a full story from that one thing. And if that's the approach they're going, then yeah. And this remains to be seen with, all this stuff. Like, is this going to turn out in a ways that's going to work, or is it going to fucking fall in its face within the first couple, projects of going with this? And then I think what also is kind of interesting about this, and I talked about it before, is Wonder Man, a series so you have seemingly what is to me what this is being broken down into is the Marvel Animation, the Marvel Television, and then the movies, and then you get this Marvel Spotlight banner, which I think Echo was the first show to debut that. Let me get a swig of water. So it's like in the Spotlight, from my knowledge, it's just so confusing. From my knowledge, it's the Spotlight is more like standalone one-off story. So maybe maybe the Spotlight is what the special presentations turned into the Marvel Spotlight. That's what I was trying to say. Is that like what we're seeing with this? And I don't know, bro. It's just they need to get their fucking ducks in a row. That's all I know. Some rumors. So the direction for Avengers 5 has shifted towards a more standalone story. Avengers Secret Wars may be split into two separate films. So what originally was going to be Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars It seems to be. I think they untitled it, so I don't think it's even Kang Dynasty anymore. It's Avengers 5 as of now, and then Avengers Secret Wars still is keeping its name. That's what it's seemingly like. And so this is from Daniel to Richmond. So again, take this with a grain of salt. I need to find that Reddit post where it showed the Scooper strike rate. Like it showed Daniel to Richmond. Like it showed all of them and like how accurate they were and whatnot with their scoops. But so it seems like, so I think that's the original plan was gonna be, so Avengers Infinity War and Endgame got split up. That was originally gonna be one movie, and then they split it up into two. And so it seems like, I feel like honestly this is best case. If this is true, best case scenario, because then you can have your more grounded. I think there was some also rumblings along with this. What it was, Avengers 5 was going to be more grounded. It was going to have multiversal elements, but be more grounded. And so I feel like this is the best case scenario if that's where they're going with, because I feel like you do kind of need to get the Avengers back on the radar, like they've been seemingly disbanded for a minute. Like we haven't really got any rumblings. Like we just kind of been getting standalone hero stories and whatnot. And we haven't seen any teams, no Avengers, no Defenders, no Fantastic Four, no X-Men. You kind of need to get the Avengers back online. So, and then you save the big multiversal shit, all the cameos and whatnot for the next two movies. I feel like that will work a lot. Like you use Avengers 5 to, get the team back established and whatnot, and then you go into the shenanigans, because I feel like if you form the team and then you go right into some multiversal shenanigans with all the cameos and shit, it's just like, all right, this team doesn't really feel cemented and whatnot. Like when I call the Avengers, when in the old phases, when I call the fucking Avengers, I know who to fucking expect. I expect to see motherfucking Hulk. I expect to see fucking Thor. I expect to see fucking Black Widow, Hawkeye, Iron Man, Cap. And it's like if you form this team and go straight into multiversal shit, like who are you gonna put in the squad? Like Captain, Sam Wilson, Captain America, fucking Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and I feel like you're not, it's not established, it's not cemented, like I said. But yeah, I feel like that's best case scenario. So this is kind of ass if this rumor is true. So Marvel Studios so this is from Daniel to Richmond. Marvel Studios is reportedly developing a blonde Phantom series for Disney Plus starring Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is being considered for the lead role. It's being described as a spy show set in the 1950s taking place in Las Vegas. And I think I also heard rumors, this could be wrong, but this was the Disney Plus project that Scarlett Johansson was, in rumblings to do, that's been like kind of heavily under wraps, which, a lot of people speculated it was going to be like, not necessarily her character was starring in it, like, Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, but it was going to be like a Black Widow project, probably with Yelena or maybe some previous spy Natasha Romanoff adventures. But this might be that series, and yeah, they can keep this shit, to be honest. Taylor Swift, I'm kind of indifferent, but then it's just like, where does this slot into? Like anything could be good, granted, but it's just like this is where you're putting your resources to. Doesn't seem very beneficial. I don't know. I just feel like, especially, I don't know, Marvel just needs to get a lot more deliberate. And not just in early Marvel was a lot of let's see what sticks on the wall, let's throw a bunch of shit and let's see what sticks. But it's just like now now that they're ramping down their content and they're not introducing 50 fucking characters a year, and they're, maybe doing 2 movies a year with like 2 shows a year, you definitely need to be deliberate at what is introducing who and what of, like, and again, that kind of just could, shoot themselves in the foot, because it's like, if you're releasing stuff that's gonna be like kind of disconnected and kind of their standalone stuff, like, are you, quote unquote, and I'm not saying, I'm using this term very, very loosely, wasting your projects on that. Like, let's say we get like this Wonder Man show, what if it's fucking stellar? It's fucking, top notch, 10 out of 10 writing, characters, CGI, all that, fucking great, right? And let's say it's like more of a standalone thing. Like you're using that, and then you're also trying to you're putting that out, and that's one of your projects for the year. But then you're also trying to build this overarching narrative with something else. So it's just like they're kind of really in a limbo right now. I just don't know. I feel like it's beneficial to have this overarching narrative, but then it's beneficial to do these standalone stories. And I feel like kind of these standalone stories shouldn't be included in the 2 to 3 projects or whatever that they're building. Want to release per year. Almost knocked some crazy over. I don't know. That's just me rambling and yapping. But let's move on. So apparently there's this is from Variety, I believe. Let me double check. So we're getting a new Vision series, and so I think this has been in the rumblings for a minute. But we're getting a new Vision series exclusive. Star Trek Picard executive producer Terry Matalas to resurrect Vision, the synthezoid played by Paul Bettany, for a Disney Plus series set for 2026. Bettany will return to the role, and Matalas will serve as showrunner. So yeah, I think there's been some rumblings for a minute since like the ending of WandaVision. Like I think there was gonna be like a Wanda X Vision show, like Vision Quest or something like that. And I think that might have got scrapped, and this kind of rose from the ashes of that. Sorry, I'm about to get the hiccups. Give me 1 second, brother. Remember that hiccup trick I said last week? And we're gonna do it right now. Take a deep breath and swallow super fucking hard while holding your breath. And just like that, fellas and fellettes, it's gone. They're gone. But yeah, there's been rumblings for this for a minute. I mean, I'm down. I feel like Vision is definitely, thinking about it, is definitely one of the more stronger MCU characters. I just feel like he's super. One, I feel like he's a good comedic source with his dumbfoundedness. Two, I feel like he's super philosophical. He's deep as fuck for no reason. Jesus, philosophical. There's the stuff with him. I think it's honestly one of my favorite parts in Avengers Civil War, or not Avengers, Captain America Civil War, where he's like, when he's talking to the Avengers and he's saying their presence entice people with power to challenge him and whatnot. That whole spiel, I don't remember it like super like word for word, but like that was a super good point. And then you get the conversations you have with Ultron at the end of Age of Ultron, and then the conversations with himself about the Odysseus and like the ship and whatnot. Like I feel like he's a very deep, complex character that has a lot of room to grow, and has that classic MCU humor. They could do that with him. So I'm always open to see more Vision, and especially where he left off. It's like I feel like he left off in a very interesting place, and a very interesting place to explore his character. So yeah, and then I guess Star Trek Picard is a lot of people like it, so this is a good get for that. So yeah, this is apparently coming in 2026, and I'm on board. It doesn't feel like one of those shows. It doesn't feel like this fucking Taylor Swift show I just talked about, or the fucking Agatha All Along. Like it feels like, do we really need that? I feel like this is very. And we'll get Vision. He's a heavy hitter in the Marvel universe too, which I don't think he's been utilized well at all. Like he's fucking could go intangible. He has not anymore, but he had a fucking Infinity Stone in his head. Like I feel like he's that guy, and I feel like he's been super underutilized. So, okay, so this is a worrying rumor, possibly. This can go terrible. So apparently, this is from the Insider. Sony wants to bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and give them key roles in the Sony Cinematic Universe. This will be separate from the MCU Multiverse Saga. Okay, no, that's from Daniel Richmond. What I just said. This is another piece attached. That's from the Insider, but that's from Daniel Richmond. Take all these rumors with a grain of salt. Yeah, so we'll get into this, the second part in a second, but bro, give them key roles in the Sony Cinematic Universe. Okay, All right, Bucko. So what does this mean? So this says Tobey and Andrew. So does this mean continuing Amazing Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man 4, the Raimi universe? Or does this mean merging the two? And oh my god, this sounds this could just 90% easily end up in the biggest disaster ever. And I just want them to do it just to see what the fuck they would do to botch this. Hold on. Hold on. This is gonna relate. Hold on. Kraven the Hunter was also delayed to December because Sony believes people will spend the holidays watching the film over and over again. Basically, the article said like they're confident in their, that's from Collider. They're confident in their universe, and then they also, oh my god, let's go to some minor. I don't give a fuck. If you care about Venom, I honestly don't give a fuck. Some minor potential plot spoilers for Venom 3. Venom and Eddie, actually, let's look. Oh fuck, do I not have the? All right, hold on. I gotta find the Twitter article or the Twitter shit. This is just going into their the universe and what they the confidence they have, and some of the maybe potential decisions that they're making with their new universe. Where is it? Here it is. Found you. Okay. This is some Venom 3, and this is going into what we could possibly be getting for Tobey and Andrew's return. Venom and Eddie learn through the multiverse hive mind that Spider-Man is destined to kill them. They go looking for Spider-Man to kill him. He's only 10 in their universe. Eddie and Venom kidnap Peter. Before they kill Peter, Eddie decides he doesn't want to do it. Younger Peter gets bitten by a spider, has an allergic reaction to it, gets taken to the hospital by Eddie, where he pretends to be Peter's dad. Toxin has merged with Detective Patrick Mulligan. Toxin vows to kill all monsters, including Venom and Peter. Toxic spawns a new group of symbiotes. The new group of symbiotes threaten to destroy San Francisco. A new group called the Jury want to kill every symbiote in existence. The group is led by Orwell Taylor, whose son was killed by Carnage. Okay. Let's kind of go back, guys, and unpack that a little bit. So, what we're getting here is the most incoherent piece of shit imaginable. What the fuck is that? Like, oh, holy fuck. Holy hell. Again, that is possibly, untrue leaks and rumors, but it's so crazy that I could even consider that is some bullshit that Sony wanted to do. So if this is any indication with the Kraven stuff and their delusion with everyone wanting to go watch Kraven over and over again, the delusion they've been making with this fucking Spider-Man villain universe that is so absent of the Spider-Man character. Let's get past that. Let's rewind a little bit. Okay, we get Venom 1. All right, this was pretty bad, but it could develop into something. It's lacking Spider-Man, but maybe we can make some shake with this. Venom 2. Wait, yeah, did Venom 2 come out before Morbius? Let's just say that's the timeline. This is still pretty bad, and the lack of Spider-Man is kind of being felt. Morbius, the lack of Spider-Man is being felt very, very much in this, and it's just not a good movie at all. Okay, then Venom and the Madam Web. Okay, this is pretty fucking shit. And then Venom 3. Oh, this could probably be pretty fucking shit as well. And then we have Kraven. So their live action department is not doing very well with the Spider-Man mythos. And then you get the fucking bullshit with the Silk series, and then this possible fucking Spider-Man noir series that might not even fucking say the word Spider-Man. Like, fucking hell. I don't want to see this. Fucking do not bring Tobey back. Do not bring Andrew back. And honestly, hold on. Rewind. I do want to see this because I always want to see the train wreck of the disaster that they would make. But then at the same time, I did not like at all how Toby, fucking hell, how not Toby, Andrew Garfield was treated with Spider-Man, because I never thought he was bad. The movies, I always maintain the movies weren't that great, but him himself, he was definitely the star of that, the highlight. His Spider-Man performance, his Peter Parker performance is great, but then people just internet people just take it too far and just do too much. And he's just like, he's has pictures of him, and probably every kid, but it was always a dream of his to play fucking Spider-Man, Peter Parker. So it's just like, it kind of, I liked how the fandom ultimately embraced him, coming back from No Way Home and whatnot. But people just aren't mature and can't differentiate. They can't tell the difference between some shit actually, like the actor and shit being bad, or the thing that they're being in is bad. And so if that were to happen again, I don't feel like Andrew would be the bad part, but the movies would be, and just people just aren't fucking mature enough to fucking make sense of the two. I don't know what it is. But yeah, that's, I mean, and then if there's something there, I would much rather see. What would we rather see though? Amazing Spider-Man 4 or Amazing Spider-Man, or Spider-Man 4 or Amazing Spider-Man 3? I would have much rather see, I think, Amazing Spider-Man 3, honestly, because I feel like Spider-Man 3 kind of ended like in a good spot, not necessarily a good spot, but like there's a lot of closure in that and whatnot. I feel like Amazing Spider-Man 2 was just starting to trying to ramp up and get shit going. Not saying any of that would have been good, but I feel like there's still some, and then you get the No Way Home stuff, and but I feel like there's still some shit there. But let's keep it pushing though, because we've been yapping for an hour now, and yeah, so let's get quickly through this stuff. So we got oh fuck. All right, we got a trailer to get into. This is actually kind of fucking creep me out. So this is a trailer for Longlegs. Oh wait, I did see Nicolas Cage. Fucking hell, Nicolas Cage's name attached to this a while ago, but I didn't see him in the trailer. Oh wait, is he the killer? Oh, he is. Okay, so. Yeah, I heard about this like some weeks back, but I just never. But okay, we got a trailer though for Longlegs, and so this comes out July 12th, and this seems like a scary suspenseful movie, and I'm kind of a scaredy cat, so yeah. Basically, this trailer visually it looks great. I think it has really strong visuals, but basically it just goes on. It follows this female FBI agent. And she's investigating this serial killer called Longlegs. And like that's what he's leaving, the name Longlegs at the crime scene. And it's playing with some supernatural horror vibes. Like, is this a demon, or is this like what is this entity? Like, what is going on in this town? It looks super, like I said, visually interesting. It looks interesting in itself, and I think Nicolas Cage plays the killer. So that's hey, I'm on board for this, because I think, with supernatural stuff, I'm a scaredy cat with horror stuff in general, but like when you get something interesting like this, like, oh, is it a killer? Is it a fucking demon? I feel like that's super, super interesting to me. So I would definitely advise to check out the trailer, but we'll most likely be reviewing this July 12th. Let me pull up the trailer. Yeah, there's some very, very unsettling visuals in this. Again, like I said, bro, I'm a puss, bro. It starts off, she has hears a loud banging on the door of her secluded cabin, and then she goes outside with her blick to investigate. She's looking around, it's all dark and shit, and it's the eerie, and then the camera kind of pans back to the cabin, and someone's walking inside as she's outside and shit. So it's just oh, that's scary. But yeah, it's there's this fuck, bro, I don't want to pull up on my computer. It's kind of fucking scary, brother. Yeah, it's this fucking shrouded nun Oh, yeah, that's creepy, bro. I don't want to see that. It's gonna make me cry. She's shrouded in a headdress or something, and yellow eyes are being seen through the veil or whatever. Yeah, it's very, very scary stuff, and it's not typically my wheelhouse, my friend. A Violent Nature comes out soon, right? I think I need to see what comes out next week because I think we got a movie coming up. But yeah, definitely. So I didn't see Nick Cage a bunch in the trailer, but it's super super fucking creepy. So yeah, we'll be dragging our feet into that. So, but a Knives Out 3 title was revealed. So it's called The Wake Up Dead Man, and it's releasing on Netflix in 2025, so next year. So Wake Up Dead Man. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that entails, but what the last Knives Out movie was fucking called Glass Onion. Was that? There's probably a reason for that, but I'm blanking. But yeah, I like the Knives Out movies. I want to rewatch the first one because I really like Chris Evans in that. And I think that was like during when Knives Out 1 come out because I was like during that was like in the middle of the MCU, so it was cool seeing him play a non Steve Rogers-esque character. Knives Out 2019. So yeah, around Endgame, Infinity War time, and shit like that. Excited for that gearing up and see what names are attached and whatnot to it. Um, I was always Knives Out always have a pretty fucking cool good cast. Let's see. Dwayne Johnson transforms into the MMA legend Mark Kerr in the first look at A24's The Smashing Machine, directed by Benny Safdie and co-starring Emily Blunt. Yeah, so we haven't, no trailers, nothing for this, but basically Dwayne Johnson got fed up and I think what is that movie? Black Adam pushed him over the edge, and now he's trying to get some Oscar bait shit. So this is looking like his Iron Claw, and which I'm not mad at it at all. I really liked Iron Claw a lot. It's because he has some prosthetics on his face and does not look like he kind of looks like half of his face looks like fucking The Rock, and the other half looks like a random ass fucking guy. But yeah, some prosthetics on his face. And so this is a much more serious film and stuff. And so I feel like it's going to be interesting to see The Rock in that light and whatnot. So we have a couple boneheaded business shit. And I did want to get into, I kind of just want to move on though, to be honest. It's just, maybe I'll revisit this next week or some shit. George Lucas says using AI for filmmaking is inevitable. It's like saying, I don't think these cars are going to work. Let's just stick with the horse. You can say that, but this isn't the way that isn't the way the world works. Okay, quickly on that. He's right and he's wrong, in my opinion. I feel like because he goes into saying like with this interview, how AI has always, it's been used already in the movie industry, especially like for animation and whatnot and things of that nature. And yeah, that is true. But I feel like at the end of the day, it needs regulation, and I don't really think AI deserves a spot in the creative space. I mean, I feel like it's worked this long without it. Like, why do you need it? And why do you need it now? And going to his point about cars and horses, I feel like yes, but that is a great comparison. Horses to cars, but at the point, I feel like now we're at a point where it's not horses and cars; it's cars and a slightly faster car. We don't need the slightly faster car. The corporations want the slightly faster car because then it will cut costs and get them from point A to point B faster. But it's not needed, in my opinion. And again, this is just a outsider looking in and not having not being super knowledgeable on this stuff. But I just feel like, one, it needs regulation. And two, it's not fucking needed, And it's like stuff has been going this, shit has been going this way for this long for a reason, And just like AI, I just feel like there's just so many, I feel like there's so many well thought out points against AI being in the entertainment industry than they are for it. For what I see, it's like only cost cutting measures, which we don't need that. Capitalism might need that, but like as a creative, especially in like this creative field, you don't need that, bro. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's a very I feel like for the stuff he works on, that's a very easy point to say because it is animation and he works with a lot of CGI, and he was fucking part of ILM. Like they are the pioneers for a lot of technological advances in cinema. So I feel like that's part of the reason he's saying that, and he's always dealt with this quote unquote cutting edge technology and stuff. But it's just like, I don't know, we're kind of at a point where this shit is just used for, like I said, cost cutting measures. Like it's not furthering the craft, in my opinion. And that's not like, and I'm specifically talking about AI. I don't mean like, there's always great breakthroughs, and you get like the volume and shit. That's like, say what you will about it, but it being used in tandem and used with standard movie making practices is great. Once you recognize its limitations, and then you work around that, it's great. But when you try to use that as an end all be all, it looks shit. And so it's like, there's always going to be technological advances in cinema, but it's like, I don't feel like AI is really something you should, I don't know, look into for that. And it just needs to be very strict regulation in that. If they do, like I said, like he says, it's inevitable, and I've been saying it's inevitable as well. It just needs strict regulation. And then you get some stuff with Scarlett Johansson and open AI copying her voice without permission. Shit like that. Like, I don't know, bro. It just needs to stop, bro. Fuck AI. Fuck AI. For the most part. Yeah, nothing really any worse of a while. Let's get on to the gaming shit and the comic shit, and so we can talk about some Furiosa and wrap this bitch up, my boy. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is on the horizon. Apparently this is like the. Okay, let me rewind. I fuck with COD tough for the most part. I'm mostly a single player guy. I mean, I do like online games, but single player games is my bread and butter. And saying that, you probably kind of know where this point is going. I was fucking huge on the COD campaigns, and they kind of just been lackluster these couple years. Where did I exactly start falling off? Let's pull up the COD shit. But apparently, this COD has been in development the longest out of any other Call of Duty, but which doesn't necessarily mean anything. And just Call of Duty has gotten to a very just capitalistic, just super. Just like what am I trying to say? Fucking battle pass, like charging $30 for a fucking skin and lackluster. It's super corporate. All right, let's see where I dropped off the COD campaigns. Probably MW Modern Warfare 2019. Honestly, I think so. Yep. That campaign was fine, but it kind of just felt like that they were, moving away from what made COD campaigns fun. Like, bro, we're just drop us in, fucking, and create fun set pieces. Like, that's all people want. And like, they're over here trying to fucking with the MW3's campaign. Like, they're over here trying to fucking put it in like open. Oh no, with fucking relating to Black Ops, they like was doing some shit where it was just so extra, bro. Like, you gotta crack this fucking code and get some mission intel from this one mission so it can help you with this other mission. And I'm all for innovation and and stuff like that, but it's just like, bro, your bread and butter is right in fucking front of your face. Like, the most innovative shit I want to see from a COD campaign, this is probably putting in the box, and I probably will change my tune on this, but since they just done it so poorly with shit that strays away from this, it's like I don't want to see what they possibly make. But like, with fucking Black Ops 2, where there's branching storylines, like you could fucking one mission where you're shooting, you have to kill Woods or whatever, and you can the mission says like shoot him in the head, or it says shoot him or kill him or something, and you can shoot him in the head and that'll be the end of it, or you can shoot him in his fucking legs or whatever, and then like he'll come later in the he'll be alive and by the end of the game and whatnot. Like, there's shit like that. Like, that's the type of shit I want to see. Like, shit that like makes replaying the game fun. Not I have to fucking find this one piece of intel on a mission that's probably in the fucking back room of some shack that is like 50 yards away from the basic mission objective or some shit like that. Like, it was cheating, like those little like MW2 or some shit. Like, you get a little intel, like you find this like shit, and like it's like this maybe like an end game bonus or some shit, or something like that, or some concept art or some shit. They were like, and it would be like ducked off in a random ass spot, but they were like treating shit like that in Cold War as like some mission, and that's completely optional shit. But they were treating the shit in Cold War like it was some mission objective shit, and it was just like, bro, I was not feeling it. And then like MW3 was like, fucking, you just placed me in this fucking Warzone-esque map or whatever, and like I gotta travel fucking 100 meters and it's like open world. It's like so fucking ass, bro. Just get back to the linear COD storytelling, bro. It is that fucking simple. Jesus. And like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you can have innovative in that. Like, you get something like Infinite Warfare. Like, that's one of the better COD campaigns that like a lot of people slept on, bro. Infinite Warfare's campaign is fucking fire. Even though like I wasn't really the multiplayer was whatever. I was like prestige once and got the intervention and like hopped off. But it's just like, I don't know, bro. It's just they strayed way too far. What makes COD fun, or the campaigns at least. So I guess what there's like some other stuff like this. It's also this new COD is gonna be released on PS4 and Xbox One. So the previous generation of consoles, which makes sense from I guess from a business perspective because apparently, there's there's 118 million active players on PSN. There's only 60 million PS5 sold. So there's 58 million players still on PS4. So it's like, I get it from a business perspective, but then also when making the game, you're holding back all. Like, for instance, Marvel Spider-Man 2, say what you will about that game, but it couldn't release on PS4 because it was doing shit that could only work on the PS5. And so like you're getting shit like that, like being held back by the previous console generation. So Jesus Christ, I put this news on here because like I said, I've been kind of hopped off the COD train for a minute, but I was like, oh shit, Black Ops 6, they're going back to like a more pick 10, like the multiplayer, classic multiplayer shit. And so like that was cool. But it's like, thing about this, like talking about it out loud, like this seems like it's gonna be kind of like lackluster, like all the recent Call of Duties. I guess like also Black Ops 6 campaign is reportedly going to be the first open world Call of Duty campaign, and is going to be developed by Raven Software. Some Treyarch devs working on Call of Duty Black Ops 6 have tweeted that they've been playtesting Black Ops 6 for over 2 years. So it's just like, yeah, all this shit sounds sweet and cool, but it's just like, I don't know, bro. Remains to be seen. Let's see what they do with the zombies. Let's see what they do with the campaign. Like, my top Call of Duty campaigns just speaks to like the quality that I expect. Obviously MW2, COD 4, they're basically the fucking classics, bro. COD 4, MW2, MW3, fucking Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. Like, shit, is that the only solid ones? I didn't mind Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but after that, I feel like it kind of just dropped off the map. Did Black Ops 3 did not have did it have a campaign? I don't think it did. Did it? I don't think so. But yeah, bro, I just want to get back to that, bro. COD campaigns were just like, they were an event, bro. Like no one gives a fucking shit. It sucks. So, Sparking Zero. So the release date might have leaked. I don't know where this comes from, but possible release date is October 1st, 2024. So this is for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Which is like, okay, take this with a grain of salt, is like from a possible leak, but then also the previous 3 Budokai Tenkaichi games. So the first game released October 6th, 2005. The second one released October 5th, 2006. The third one released October 4th, 2007. So if that's indicator that they try to release in the first week of October, I feel like that leaked release date has a very good solid chance at popping off. So that's cool. And they've been kind of really dancing around when they were gonna release this. It's every fucking gameplay trailer has been like, oh, add it to your wish list, coming soon or whatever. So, and it's supposed to be coming this year, so that's why I think a lot of people are confused. But then also the October 1st release date could just be a placeholder. So, yeah. But yeah, some comic stuff. Well, quite a more comic stuff than usual, which is always cool. I don't come across a lot of comic stuff, but any comic stuff I do find interesting, I try to throw up on here. But this is actually really interesting because I just started reading this, and so when shit like this happens, bro, I've been thinking like, all right, weird coincidence. But anyways, Batman: The Last Halloween, the final 10-part installment of the long Halloween series, is releasing September 25th. So this is one of my first Batman stories was the Long Halloween, which is a fucking great Batman story. You don't need to know anything going in. You could just pop in and read it. I highly recommend that, but I liked it a lot. And I picked up Dark Victory recently, which is, I guess, a sequel to that. And so And the last one, the last Halloween release, I think, because this is interesting. It's like when I start fucking reading this, and then they want to, after all these years, they want to fucking end it now when I start picking it up. Not last Halloween, long Halloween, because this I'm pretty sure released like a long time ago. Yeah, this released in 96, 97. It started in 96, ended in 97. So it says, yes, I feel like that's super interesting. But I see I'm reading Dark Victory now, which is the sequel. I'm only literally like 2-3 pages in, so not really in it at all. And so yeah, this is definitely something I'm keeping an eye on. And then Marvel announces Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood, a new addition to their line of black and white and blood anthologies. So these are basically like they'll take stories. I think Moon Knight has one, Wolverine has one. I'm not sure who else, but like they'll take iconic stories and doing them in black and white, and the only thing in color is the blood. And that works really well with the character like Moon Knight, who wears mainly white. So that's like a super fun. I always, whenever I go in the comics store, I always see their black, white, and blood series, and so I just need to pick one up. But it's just like I already read the story, so it's like that's why I'm not too pressed to pick it up. Like there's other new stuff that I would rather read. But apparently that this for the Spider-Man one, the 4-issue series launches in August and will feature a Kraven's Last Hunt story by J.M.D. Mentes and Elena Casagrande, and a symbiote follow-up by Michael Starzinski and Sumit Kumar, and a horror segment by Destin Nguyen in its debut issue. So seemingly to me, like I said, it's like rehashes old stories, but it seems like this, and it might be the case for others. I just just saw them in passing, and it wasn't news like this. It seems like this is gonna have some additional stories in it, and I haven't for the Moon Knight stuff. I read all his stories, and that's why I wasn't too pressed to do his. And so, this is something that it seems like there's some additional content with that. And I haven't read Kraven's Last Hunt, so I'll probably be experiencing it for the first time through this, which is probably not going to be the ideal way, but yeah. And then also, so Marvel Comics announced Predator versus Black Panther, a 4-issue crossover launching this August from the Predator versus Wolverine writer Benjamin Percy and Chris Allen. I need to go finish that Predator and Wolverine shit, but this seems like another character that this will fit super well. It's super interesting because one, you get a Predator constantly coming. You get a long living character like Logan Wolverine. Who's been alive for 200 plus years, and so he has, throughout his 200-year lifespan, he's had multiple encounters with the Predator. Like that in itself is a cool concept, and then you apply that same type of thing to the Black Panther lineage, and like again, I don't know what the story details are with, but in my head, it's gonna be like, T'Challa's grandfather fucking had to run in with the Predator, and he's like, what the fuck, this weird ass alien, and then he just like tells T'Challa's dad about it. Like, I just fucking fought this weird ass alien one time, and then fucking T'Challa's dad fucking fights him, and then T'Challa then has a run in with him, and you could do that, go further back down the lineage beyond T'Challa's grandfather. That's just as far as I went back, but you can go even farther from that, like when fucking Wakanda was first founded in the fucking vibranium meteor crash. Like you could do so much fun stuff, like that the vibranium meteor crash on Wakanda, and then building weapons was like, and this doesn't have to be canon, of course, building vibranium weapons came from trying to fight the Predator or some shit. Like I don't know, like, I feel like there's a lot of fun things that play with that concept. So that's super interesting. I need to get around. There's a couple comics I need to finish, and I need to just buckle down and finish them. Honestly. And then the last little comic thing is Marvel Comics announced Wolverine Revenge, a 5-issue limited series launching this August from writer Jonathan Hickman and artist Greg Capullo. The book will also have a red band edition containing heightened violence and additional pages. Wolverine shit. Wolverine's my dog, always down for him. And then Jonathan Hickman's a great writer, so I feel like that's what, and I really, really like the art as well. It just feels like that classic Wolverine, like kind of, a little cartoony, but it still has that realism a little bit. It just feels so perfect, the art for Wolverine. And then Jonathan Hickman, like I said, is a really good writer, so that's what was really, really has me jazzed about going in. But You're just trying to get more into comics overall. So definitely keep an eye on this. What is it? August for the Wolverine, August for the Black Panther shit, and then so we got a lot of shit in August, September, August. Damn. All right, so it's gearing up for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the news, though. Let's jump into this main topic, Furiosa. So we'll be keeping it spoiler free until I say otherwise and get into spoilers. But yeah, so fuck it. If you don't know what this movie's about, I guess it's a Mad Max story. So this movie, Mad Max, this Mad Max has been a movie series for a while, when by George Miller. So let's see when the first Mad Max came out. 1979. Originally starring Mel Gibson. And so and then we got like, I think, there was like 3-4 movies, after that 79 one. And then the recent one before this was Mad Max Fury Road, starring Tom Hardy. I think like 2015, 2016, which I liked a lot, honestly. And so this movie is about a main character in Mad Max Fury Road, Furiosa. And this is a proper origin story with dealing with her and, what she went through and how she turned into the badass that she is, that we see her in Mad Max Fury Road. So we're going to see her earn her bald head, earn her one arm, earn her mechanical arm and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, this is like a simple pretty much simple revenge story. There's some other stuff that goes into it. And I guess, before we get into if I actually like this movie, the budget on this bad boy was $168 million. A common, rule of thumb with movie stuff is double the budget to account for marketing and whatnot. But then I also came across this 2.5 it. So let's 2.5 it. 168 million times 2.5 is 420 million. So gonna need 420 million, more or less, to break even. And it's not doing the best at the box office, and so some box office numbers attached to it. For domestically, the Memorial Weekend, it's struggling to fucking hit 50 million for just domestically, and so it's projected to only hit 31 million domestically for the weekend. And then it made, I think, additionally 3.3 million at the international box office for a global tally of 58.9 million for the weekend. I think it was projected to pull 40 million to 45 million. But the thing is, the first Mad Max movie didn't have a strong start either. And it kind of became like a quote-unquote a cult classic. I feel like that's, from what I hear about the Mad Max movies, that's kind of all of them. I don't think they... I could be... I am just yapping about this point. I don't know if like any of them do super well. But like I said, this movie is directed by George Miller, and I like his work for the most part. I really like 3,000 Years of Longing. There's like some problems with that, but low key though, I think okay, let's get into it. Did I actually fucking like this movie? So going into it, I was hearing like shit like, oh my god, this movie's the greatest prequel ever. Like, oh, it's just like just blowing it out of the water and whatnot. And I like to taper back my expectations a little bit, but just going into that stuff, like you're just expecting something like stellar. And I didn't hate this movie at all. But I just didn't think it was like some fucking masterpiece that like some critics and shit were making it out to be. I'll give my rating at the end before we get into spoilers, but I don't know. This just felt like I don't want to like just come in like super down on this movie because I really did like it a lot. So let's actually just go through things I did like. The fucking cast, bro. The cast in this, every performance is fucking great. Chris Hemsworth, it's so fun. I think I mentioned it earlier with like seeing, when I was talking about Knives Out and seeing Chris Evans, play a role that's not, Captain America stoic and whatnot. Chris Hemsworth plays Dr. Dementis. The names in this movie are so fucking funny. You got fucking Dr. Dementis, Rictus Erectus, and what is the other son's name? Hold on. Where's the other son? Scrotus. So you get these fucking outlandish ass names like that, but him as Dr. Dementis, he was just like, it was so enjoyable seeing him play that role and just seeing something so different from Thor. Like, he's so menacing, he's like so grandiose, but then I don't know, bro. It's hard to get a real read on his character. He's just so all over the place, and I liked in the best way possible. And then Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa, I feel like she brought a lot to this role, bro. The kid actors for Furiosa, bro. I don't know if they just got like if they fucking CGI'd Anya Taylor's face on the kids, but at some points during this movie, bro, I was like, hold on, is that Anya Taylor-Joy's face? The kids just looked like her a lot, so the casting of that was great if they wasn't like CGI. But just the yeah, just the performances. I feel like she is, when she does get into that like that mode, that Furiosa mode, like, oh, this is the person from, Fury Road. I feel like she does a really good job at bridging the gap between the characters and make them feel very similar. There's also, I think, let's see, the action scenes. I really like the action scenes in this movie as well. There's a lot of, the Fury Road is like just a long chase, and I feel like it did a really good job at making that chase interesting. And there's a lot of stuff, similar things that went into this movie that made like, the chase interesting. Like just the actions of the car actions revolving around like the set pieces and whatnot. I feel like were really, really fun. Let's see. What else did I really, really enjoy about this movie? I feel like some of the visuals were really strong. There's like some shoddy CGI, but then I feel like, some of the cinematography and stuff was really fun and visually pleasing. It just kind of, okay, I feel, all right, so, because I want to talk about, a little bit about the story a little bit, non-spoilery, but that kind of where my problems lie a little bit. I feel like Mad Max Fury Road, and I'm sorry I'm comparing the two, I mean, Mad Max Saga, but it just did a really good job at, like, throwing you into a story and just, Mad Max is, like, kind of, like, he's not the focus of it. Like, you learn more about his character through, the situations that he's thrusted in. And I feel like this movie struggled with that a little bit. It felt like this movie wanted to have Furiosa be that, kind of like she's unimportant. Like, not like this is barely a fucking spoiler for Fury Road, but like that movie ends with like kind of Max blending into a crowd and disappearing, And it kind of felt like that's what this movie wanted to do for Furiosa, but then they also wanted her to be this prominent figure. And it kind of, and I'll explain this more in spoilers and like where my thought process on this is coming from. But it kind of just felt like, it wanted to be like this nobody, but then also be like, like I said, this prominent figure. And it just didn't translate super well for me. And then also just this is a proper origin movie, which isn't that's not necessarily a bad thing, but what I really do like about this movie, it does round out the universe a lot more, and gives us a lot more than what we've seen in Fury Road. But then also, I feel like it's that thing of once you pull back the curtain, it kind of feels like a little bit less interesting. Like Mad Max Fury Road really did a good job at like kind of trickling in, details about the universe, details about society and whatnot, and like the state of it and like where it is now. And I feel like there just wasn't that type of like, you kind of, with the War Boys, you got kind of like you got to look at their culture, and like they're over here like praising V8 engines like they're gods, and and stuff like that. And I really, really like that about Fury Road, and I feel like there's not that type of world building per se. The world building that like I really like stuck with me from Fury Road, like this is kind of just building out the wider universe and like kind of the big things with the universe. And I don't know, it just the world building of this didn't feel as organic and seamless as the Mad Max Fury Road world building. And that's not to say I disliked it in this movie, but it just kind of, I don't know, it's just like I said, the culture shit with the War Boys, I kind of was expecting that a little bit more. But then also, no, it kind of did do that a little bit though, because you do, so like, there's multiple factions and whatnot, without spoiling anything. but like in their fighting styles, like you get like this group who uses like paragliding, like those things, like those boats where like you're on the water and then like you see like someone's like parachuting and like the boat's pulling them along or whatnot, like they would use those type of tactics that was drastically different from what the war boys used and whatnot. And but then when it came to like Dementis's crew, I feel like he was kind of like interchangeable, like his like people didn't really have a strong culture or anything like that. Just compared to like some of the factions we seen, it kind of felt like, they were just, it felt like Chris Hemsworth and his crew, it kind of felt like crew were just made specifically for this movie and not like necessarily and that does make sense because you don't see a presence of them at all in Mad Max Fury Road, but like and kind of just felt like they were just made to move this story along. They didn't have like these unique things about them, and I think that maybe was the point, that they didn't have a culture and stuff, because they do mention in this movie how like he can't get his crew in line and whatnot. So maybe it was like more of a melting pot of different individuals and stuff, and maybe that's not something I picked up on the on just like the one viewing of it. So I don't know, but even like beyond his crew and stuff, I feel like that was still kind of lacking and stuff. But let's see. Let's some action. So there was like a couple new characters introduced. We get to see Furiosa's mom. I feel like she was a badass. She was definitely a dog for show. And then we get like this Metal Gear like Snake-esque, cool as a cucumber mentor figure for Furiosa. I really liked him a lot. I'm trying to find him. Is it Tom Burke? Yeah, I think, yep, it's this guy. Yep. Bro, he reminded me of okay. Let me finish this thought first. He reminded me of Sam Worthington. Is that his name? He looks like kind of like Sam Worthington, and he's in other stuff, but Clash of the Titans is what I remember him the most from. I was gonna say Terminator Salvation. I was talking about that last week, but yeah, he kind of looks like he's in the fucking Avatar guy too. Damn. But yeah, he looks like Sam Worthington to me. But then seeing him also, he looks like I don't know if the fucking like weird YouTuber Dream. He kind of looks like Dream. Not gonna lie to you. I don't mean not to diss him at all. But yeah, I really liked his character a lot. But yeah, just honestly, what besides the story stuff and like kind of like the world building and everything. And I definitely do need to see this again. And I'm kind of in a weird spot with the world building because I do like it how it filled out the universe, but I feel like it wasn't as deliberate in maybe that's not the right word, but it wasn't as like didn't go into detail that what I would have saw like it was in Fury Road. And so and there's just like some story stuff that was just like really, there's like a really, and there's like this really specific like story moment, and it happens like kind of and it would have been worse it wouldn't have bothered me in a better movie as much, but then also this movie wasn't as bad for it to like bother me completely. So it's kind of weird, and I'll get to that in spoilers. I'm just trying to think of anything else I want to move on. Like I said, visuals was good, action was fucking great, all the vehicle stuff is the great as it was as in Fury Road, which is top notch. Let's see. I love all the returning characters from Fury Road. Like I said, it really rounds out the world building in that sense. But I was kind of, trying to kind of like looking for a more culture aspect of it. We visit this place called the Bullet Farm, and like maybe it's like explained more in other movies. But I kind of wanted to learn their type of deal, and maybe that wasn't the point of it all and everything. But that's kind of felt like it was lacking a little bit. Yeah, let's like move into our rating though. So let's see. I'm kind of for this. I'm kind of like a 7.58, but I'm kind of probably maybe. I definitely need a rewatch to solidify where that rating falls, 7.5 or the 8. But like I said, it's just there's some head scratching story moments where I was just like, this kind of is. this whole story is contingent on this being the case, and like I don't feel like it was fully convincing in my opinion. But like I said, the action was fucking great. The performances was great. There's a very, very there was quite a few shots where I like, okay, that fucking shot looks badass. Yeah, I think honestly it's just I went in with this a little hyped up too much. But then I guess like saying that, but then also like scaling, with those expectations scaled back and like, looking at this movie for what it is just like didn't deliver as strongly as I wanted to, because I watched Mad Max Fury Road before, like the same day actually. So I watched that and then I watched Furiosa, and yeah, it just didn't hit the same. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not like 7.58, but let's move on to spoilers so I can get into my problems with it. So yeah, spoilers for Mad Max. I definitely would. Hold on, before we get into spoilers, I definitely would recommend this for sure to see in theaters. Go support it. I don't see if there's a reason not to. Definitely don't. Yeah, I think also what is playing into this movie not doing so great and a couple other movies not doing so great is, bro, the release, they go to digital so quick, bro. They literally go to digital a month or two after the movie's release. Like, can we get some breathing room with it? Can it grow some legs? Can it like walk a mile? Can it like, stretch its toes out? Like let it fucking bask in the sun before you strip it away and slam it in the fucking dungeons of streaming. So it's just like, yeah, I feel like that could play a part in it, and I expect this probably go to streaming fairly quickly. But I feel like if you have the time, if you can, definitely go check this out. Go support it, for sure. But yeah, on to some Furiosa spoilers. So my biggest problem with it. All right, so this movie, in my opinion, and I could be missing something, so I'm very ready to go back on this point or whatever the case. But bro, the way that this movie treats Furiosa is so confusing. First, they treat her like she's the most important thing in the world, and then they treat her like she's like nothing. So basically, what I'm saying is, so Dementis makes this big stink about like getting Furiosa and having her by his side and whatever the case. And then when he gets to the Citadel and he's fucking conversing with Immortus Joe or whatever, Immortus Joe, he's not trying to cut a deal with him, right? He's gonna snake him out, kill Dementis, and just wipe him off the map. Like, who is this fucking insignificant piece of shit? Then Dementis, he goes and takes Bullet Farm and whatever the case, gets some bargaining power, and so he goes back and renegotiates with Immortus Joe, and Mortis is like, oh, whoa, who's that little girl with you? And then like, they go do this whole song and dance of the Organic Doctor, which I do like a lot. He's in some stuff. What is he in? All right, it's not important. Let me finish this point. He's like, all right, this is a full life, and they make this whole stink about like, full lives, like being someone who is, not affected by the radiation and shit of the wasteland. She's just fully healthy human being, right? And he's like, Immortus Joe is like, okay, I want her, and then I want what else does he say? He says something else. Oh, the Organic Doctor. He wants his Organic Doctor. And if you don't know what that is, it's like basically a doctor, and it's a short supply. So yeah, so he wants him, and so he's like, I want the girl, I want the doctor, and then I'll give like what you need or whatever, and with some stipulations attached, whatever the case, right? So you have not Immortus Joe. You have Dementis, do this whole shit to get Furiosa. Then I get it, like he's a fucking soulless person. Once he agrees to Immortus Joe, he hands Furiosa off to him, and it looks like he's like about to, say be well, little one, or whatever. But he just takes back his stuffed animal back from her, and then he like has his face to face with Immortus Joe, basically showing how cold and callous he is. Yada yada yada. I get that, right? She doesn't mean really anything in the long grand scheme of thing to Dementis, right? He's easy to kick her to the curb. But then when it comes to Immortus Joe, he's talking about, oh, you could be, if you continue growing to a strong, healthy woman, you could be one of my breeders or wives or whatever the case. Some fuck shit, like gross, yuck. So yeah. So but then Immortus Joe's son has like this weird fixation on Furiosa and probably has some inappropriate things he wants to do with her in her mind. It's a fucking child, you sick fuck. But yeah, so then like he kind of like takes her and is gonna do some shit to her, and then she ends up escaping. And right, she ends up escaping, and it's not a point that's brought up by Immortus Joe, like, oh, and then again, and this is coming from Mad Max fucking Mad Max Fury Road, how we see Immortus Joe act towards his wives and how hell bent he's on to getting them back and shit. And if that little girl is gonna be one of them, he's over here like, so basically the son of Immortus Joe, you know, like I said, he goes take her to do some other shit and she escapes. Immortus Joe doesn't like come and reprimand the son. Where's the fuck is the girl? I made this whole big deal. Like she was like one of the main pieces of the deal and shit. And so like she's like kind of forgot about at this point. And basically the whole thing is she escapes the like, you know, gonna be a breeder wife or whatever, right? In the Immortus Joe Citadel, but she escapes and hides in the Citadel and becomes like one of the grunt workers, one of the soldiers or whatever, right? But it's just like there was no search party for her. There was no, where the fuck is she? None of doing this. And then again, this would not bother me at all if it was like she was like literally the main component of the deal Immortus Joe made with Dementus, right? And then by the end of the movie, when Furiosa loses her arm and some more shit, she comes back and then she's like, oh, it's me, Furiosa, or like on the council or whatever. And then like, okay, she's not saying she's just back, but she's going to the head council of like Immortus Joe and like the higher ups of the, of the Citadel. So it's not like, oh, she's just talking to some like fucking lieutenant. She's talking to the head guys in charge. And they're like, they kind of just like look around. They're like, oh shit, fucking Furiosa's back. Like, where the fuck have you been? Da da da. They just like instantly accept her back into the fold. It was just super weird. Like it felt like the movie wanted her to be a nobody like Mad Max and like have her be like, oh, fucking, what happens to her doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things of these guys, these elite guys, But then it was just like you made her important and then you made her not important and then you made her important. It just didn't work well for me. And I was like so confused. I was like, did I miss something? I'm like, am I missing something here, bro? Like I was so confused. But like, again, it's just like, it does bring it. I feel like that's one of the main reasons. So that, and then, I feel like just the world building wasn't, as strong in the micro level. Is that the bigger picture shit? I feel like it was strong in that sense, but I wanted to see more of the micro level. I feel like those are the type of things, and I just feel like this type of George Miller's, from the shit I've seen from him so far. So I've seen, let's look up his filmography, but from what I've seen so far are Mad Max Fury Road, this, and then 3,000 Years with Longing. I said George Fury. So from my understanding, his movies. Oh, he made fucking Happy Feet too. I forgot about that. So I guess this is maybe me eating crow. But did he write Happy Feet though? Is the question. Director George Miller, Happy Feet writer. Let's see. But then he also, says screenplay. He's on it. But I was gonna say, like, maybe his directing and his stories work better when it's just like you pop in. Like, I feel like the benefit of Mad Max is that he is a nobody, and that is the strength of his character. And then you pop in with a story that's not really revolved around him, and so it's like it's easy. I don't know. It just this felt like this could have worked a lot better if it wasn't just a by the books origin movie, like if this was like, oh, we popped in, because like we don't see like the Anya Taylor-Joy character, like, so she starts out pretty young and then she grows into the Anya Taylor-Joy character, and we don't see that character for a bit, well, good, not like super long, but it's a bit into like going into the movie, so I don't know, it felt like if this would have been a lot better if it just would have been like a random story about, obviously relating to the themes and shit to her past and whatnot, but just like a random point of her life and not just like a beginning to end, like showing this is where she started, this is where she, I don't know. I just feel like it would have worked better. And I feel like from what I've been hearing about the Mad Max stories, that's kind of how Mad Max works the best. Like it's just kind of slotted into some shit. Like some shit's already happening. But I could just be yapping. I haven't seen the old Mad Max movies, but I feel like that was a very strong point of the Fury Road, and so I feel like it just didn't fully translate. The story just didn't fully translate well to me with this movie. Which is and that's not to say a 7.58, bro. That's a good rating. Yeah, but yeah, I just and I would probably rate like something like Mad Max Fury Road. That's like an 8.5 to me. Like it's a solid 8.5. Like probably gearing towards maybe even a 9. Honestly, I really like the action and shit in it. I love just like the lack of just the way they trickle in, Mad Max's character and his just his characteristics, how you learn about him and how that's told through that story. Yeah, I just I really liked how uneventful. I really liked the ending of this movie, how like uneventful was her killing Dementis Joe, and like how it could be told in multiple different ways and whatnot. I really like that a lot. But yeah, so this movie not doing super well though. Does that like kind of kill it for? I really want to see a sequel to Fury Road following Tom Hardy's character, whether that's popping in with another story or exploring through his origins through through other avenues. I just don't think like the Mad Max narrative, at least from what I've been seeing, benefits, or at least for George Miller. And again, I don't want to just put like him in a boxer. I don't know all of his work, but like it just doesn't feel beneficial to tell like a standard linear story per se. I don't think that's the right wording for it, but just like a typical origin story. Like I feel like the Mad Max universe is so vast, and there's so many components that we don't know about it, like that you could just pop in at any point and it would be interesting, and it was like you can trickle feed in the overall narrative of the world building and whatnot. But I don't know, that was kind of my take on it. But yeah, I'm interested to see how, because Mr. Sunday Movies and Mason and stuff, over at the Weekly Planet, they talk about Mad Max quite a bit, and they seem really big fans. So I'm excited to hear their review. shouting out another review in my review. It's not very, but yeah, just see their insight into it, and some actual like Mad Max fans. This was just my takeaway from it, and I try to watch Fury Road like multiple times, and not like indicating of its quality. It's like I don't know. That's a random point. But yeah, I mean, I did like this movie a lot, and it kind of felt like I was like lukewarm on it. But nah. If I was like lukewarm on it, it's definitely be getting like a 6 or like a 5 or some shit. But I really did enjoy it. I really liked all the performances and everything. Like I said, it's just like the story just didn't fully come together for me. Yeah, so that's the end of that. Let's move on to the weekly watch list. I still need to check out that Spider-Man horror fan film. I will do it this week. I promise. I'm checking out My Adventures with Superman. The first 2 episodes dropped, so very excited to get into that. And some comic stuff. I think I was talking about last week. There's a Doctor Doom book that like quoted MF Doom, motherfucking Doom. Is it MF? I don't think it's motherfucking Doom. That's probably super telling of what I listen to. But MF Doom, and it was like quoting him. But it's basically without giving too much away. It's Galactus. I'm not I don't know if okay. Let me finish this. So basically, Galactus comes and so Galactus, he's a planet-eating fucking elder god, celestial type, as old as the universe type shit. If you kill Galactus, then the whole universe ends type shit. But basically, he goes and he eats planets, and usually, like, from my knowledge, he's not evil per se, but like that's just how he fucking lives. And so he tries to he's not like just going and rampaging, eating planet after planet just to fill his belly. Like he's doing it, conservatively, to my knowledge. But in this, Galactus, for reasons I won't spoil, he's eating a lot of planets very fast, and basically that is a no-no, and he ends up killing everybody except like Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards and Sue Storm's daughter, Valerie or Valeria, one of them. But yeah, so it's just her and Doctor Doom, and he gets some crazy fucking power-ups, like minor spoilers, like Valeria or Valerie, whatever her name is, he infused him with a super soldier serum and the celestial blood, which is like basically a space being that is like as old as time itself or whatever. And basically he's like gearing up to fight Galactus again, and he needs some firepower to do so. So yeah, I'm really liking that. And then also I think that's Dark Victory, Ultimate X-Men, been tapping in with that. And then I guess they released on Disney Plus the making of X-Men 97. So, and they released this with all Disney Plus shows. And I'm interested to watch this one because it's animation. I want to see like the animation process and the stuff went into it. So I'm gonna check that out. And then I want to check out the Percy Jackson one. I'm just a big Percy Jackson fan, so I want to check out the behind the scenes on that. And then music. So I think I don't have specifically a new artist per se. Hold on, let me go to my shit. Oh, I do have a new artist, but I don't think I have like a bunch of new music. Yeah, not a bunch of music, new music. But bro, so this artist, Save AJ, so he was on this streamer's stream. His name's Playboy Max, and basically it was a 16-minute video, 16 different beats, and he was just freestyling it, and he was gassing, bro. He was gassing something crazy, and you know, I don't want to put him in this box, but like a lot of people are saying it was reminiscent of like what Juice WRLD did. Like Juice WRLD did something crazy like this, and like went on he basically is a really good freestyler. And I went and checked out his music, and he's very definitely like Juice WRLD vibes and shit. Like he's talking about like his pain and whatnot and shit like that, raw way Juice WRLD shit. But I really like him a lot though. He's definitely I was trying to figure out who his voice sounded like, but I could not figure it out. But go check him out, like for sure. The tracks that I pulled from his shit, I need to keep going through his shit, were Match My Fly, Again, Just For Now, Levitate, Andy Died, No Auto, Good For You, No Hook, Struggle, Is Life Real, Change My Life, Life Is Strange, DeLorean. Out of all those tracks, I would for sure check out Match My Fly, Change My Life, and I think DeLorean was I fucked with tough. But I'll probably come back next week with some more songs and shit. But definitely check him out. He's so gas, and I always like checking out younger artists, especially, or even younger artists. Well, new artists, but like young artists specifically. Just see what the young niggas are on. You feel me? See what they tapped in with. See what they sounded like. What they're influenced by. And then I think, that's pretty much it on the weekly watch list. And then Pondering My Orb, bro. I did lock in and get like the pod out on a good time, and then I got the clips from the pod out in on schedule and shit. But then I dropped the ball with like editing and shit. I easily, bro. If I locked in, bro, I could have easily had a video out on my main channel, but I just did not lock the fuck in. And if you don't, I wanted to finish that thought, but if you're new here, if you don't know what Pondering My Orb is, on this segment of the show, I like to just reflect and just reflect for the week and like get a good mindset going into the new week and just try to tackle it strong. And in my reflection, hopefully that helps you reflect on things in your life, and in anything I say, you can, and hopefully out of anything I say in Pondering My Orb, you can grab a nugget of knowledge and apply to your life. But yeah, bro, it's just, I think my thing this week, bro, is just, you gotta just keep going strong, bro. You can start out strong, but you gotta finish strong, bro. I started the week out so fucking great, bro. I was so proud of myself. Got a lot done creatively, recorded a video, and could have got it out in the same week, bro. But then I was just like, I don't know. I think starting that super strong just kind of like gassed me. But it's just like, this is kind of what I want to do, bro, in life. You just kind of gotta push through that, bro. And I just did not, bro. And I feel super bad because I easily could have had a video out this week, but just dropped the ball on that. And I literally said last week I'm gonna be on my shit, and I expect you guys to do the same. I started strong, bro, and I just fell on my face type shit, like embarrassingly bad. Like I just was just not locked in like I should have, bro. And it's honestly, like, saying it out loud, definitely, it's so disappointing. Like I should have. Interesting, I say that. My dad sent me something. He was like, "No results, keep working. Bad results, keep working. Great results, keep working. Consistency is key. Don't give up." Um, but yeah, bro, that's the type of shit I need to be on though. Just keep working, bro. I'm so disappointed in myself like for this like past week. I just really dropped the ball on that. Like it started off so strong. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm getting it done, bro. Getting shit groovy. And it's like, damn, didn't complete the goals I set out for this week. So this week, I really want to stick to that, set a nice structure and get my shit done, bro. And I know I can do it. So I just know I can do it, bro. Just stay locked in, bro. Stay consistent. And yeah. Oh, good thing though. I guess the good news is the video I dropped on my YouTube channel. At DSU Smooth, link will be down below. But it was on the first issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, and that it did as expected for the most part. For the followers or subscribers I have and whatnot. But then it's been slowly getting more traction as it has gone on, which hasn't been the case for my videos so far. And so yeah, that's pretty cool to see, I guess. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So next week though, I gotta look. I'll post on Twitter and stuff to see if there's a movie out. But I don't, from off the top of my head, I don't think there's a movie out. I think it might be a Violent Nature. But if it's not out, might be a topic video, or I might review, since it's gonna take a bit for the show to wrap up, the first 2 episodes of My Adventures with Superman, and talk about the first season, since I don't think I talked about My Adventures with Superman on this show yet. So might do that next week, but I'll know for sure probably today. I'll post it on Twitter and stuff in the YouTube. So if you do want to follow, get updates on that, follow the Twitter for this account. Link will be below. We'll get updates in first when I don't record, which is not often, or if there is a delay in the episode, which is more often than me not recording. Still try to get these shows out on Monday, but shit happens. But if I don't say what we're gonna be talking about next week on here, I'll post that and whatnot. But yeah, follow me on that. Follow me on the TikToks and shit for clips from this show and whatever and whatnot. Follow the main YouTube channel. And hopefully about to get into some gaming shit soon, so soon. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Twos.